Triple M's Grill Team at 23-8 for Bryden's Lawyers. It's Gus, MG and Matty Johns with a mostly fine one today, just some morning showers. Once they clear, should be pretty good. Top's about 22 degrees.
For an inside look at the NRL this week, here's Josh Massoud with the 7th tackle.
We only scratched the surface here on the radio. triplem.com.au is where you can see all the news from the 7th tackle. Josh Massoud is here this morning.
Now, Josh, we're going to talk about Des Hasler. Just for a second there, before we talk about he's had a tough week as far on the home front, as far as his house and these King Tides. But Raylan Castle, got a call from Raylan the other day who said that they are very, very close to signing Des to the end of 2019. Now, there have been a lot of discussions around that he was offside, but how close is that from your understanding?
My understanding is that the contract's on the table and Des has just pretty much got to sign it. Now, yeah, about a month ago, the Terry Lamb statement that he didn't understand the culture, no doubt in the world, that caused some major tensions within the football department. It's very surprising comments. Des, I think you could say, probably nipped that in the bud in his own way. Des is the type of character that the key to his success is control. Yep. He's got standards, and I suppose he needed to bring things under control during that period. He has done that. The results probably for Canterbury still aren't where he'd want them to be, but you probably can't deny the 5 years he's been there, the 2 grand final appearances. Yeah. And there's not really one player I've heard that's out of line with Des. They really do like him.
Mate, okay, what about Des on the home front? How's he going there? He's been sighted down at Collaroy, filling sandbags.
Mate, I don't think I'll come up with a better story this year that encapsulates who Des Hasler is, the enigma that Des Hasler is. About just over a year ago, 2 years ago, Des bought a beachfront property at Collaroy. The waves are actually lapping at your slippers when you're sitting on the couch watching TV and smoking your pipe. It's right on the sand. So if any property was going to be washed away, wiped away by the storms over the weekend, it was going to be this one. And it's still standing, nothing affected, not a brick touched, absolutely perfect. And that is because Des was meticulous before he bought it. He did his research. He looked at the tides and he found that there were 2 major storm events in the last 50 years. He measured how badly those were and what the potential was for them to wipe away his property, because you can't get insurance on act of God. He knew that. There was a retaining wall, but according to Des's calculations, it wasn't high enough. So he invested the money and the time to build it that little bit higher, and guess what? The water came within centimetres of going over the wall, but it didn't go over. Mate. He calculated it to perfection. Desi. That is Des Hasler to a T.
There you go.
Unbelievable. The mad scientist does it again.
Well done, Desi. Well
There's
played.
an old story from years ago of an old NRL coach, right, who's not coaching in the NRL anymore, but he once bought a house in the Cronulla area. And they said that he'd actually sat in his car for 8 hours and took notes of the amount of traffic that went past, made up excuses to knock on the neighbours' doors so he could meet the neighbours and everything before he bought the property. They said they've never seen anything like it. So that's
what a planner.
They're NRL coaches for you.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yep.
And thanks for coming in, Josh. Sorry we got you late. Did you got to go on the telly now? Is that why you're all suited and booted?
No sunrise appearances today. Just ready for anything, Gus. You know rugby league.
Yeah,
okay.
Something will happen soon.
Yeah, good on you, Josh. Thanks for coming in. Of course, the 7th tackle on triplem.com.au. And, of course, we'll read and hear from you over the coming week until we see you next week.
Cheers, mate. Can't
See
wait.
you, Josh. Have a good one. It's the Grill Team at 20-8.